Hello all, myself Dr. Narendra Rally. I am here to explain you on the concepts of production analysis, unit 3. What is production? What is production analysis? Before going into that, production is I just want to let you know that production is the result of cooperation of four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and organization. What is this factors of production? Okay, before knowing factors of production and all, I can say production analysis begin with the analysis of demand. You have earlier learned the demand analysis, demand function, forecasting of demand, etc. Right? So production analysis begins with the analysis of demand. Once the demand for a given product or service has been determined, management decides the most profitable way to employ the firm's resources to produce that particular goods or services. Such decisions involve an understanding of what economists call production functions, or the cost which a firm incurs in the process of production of its goods and services is an important variable for decision making. Total cost together with total revenue determine the profit levels of a business concern. In this production analysis, in this unit you have the following topics: production function, and in that what is short run and what is long run production. Law of variable proportions, that is short run deals with the short run. Isoquant and isocost curves. Least cost combination of inputs. Returns to scale, that is long run. Economies of large scale. Cobb-Douglas production function. Cost concepts and cost oriented programming methods. In this you have break even point and cost to volume profit analysis. So without going late, let us start the details about the production function. Firms maximize profit. Profit, it is the difference between total revenue and total cost. Profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. Okay, in this process, for an economist, total cost is explicit payments to factors of production plus the opportunity cost of the factors provided by the owners of the firm, which is an implicit cost. Here you have learned two things. One is explicit costs and another one is implicit cost. What is this explicit and implicit costs? Explicit costs are those costs which we actually incur, while implicit costs are those costs which we forego in order to carry out the production. That means, for example, you just want to establish a movie theater in your land, but at the same time, due to some land deficiency, you have handed over your land to your company to establish a manufacturing plant. Here the cost for this cost in this example is the cost that has been incurred to establish a manufacturing plant plus the cost that you have foregone to establish a movie theater. So this is like explicit and implicit costs. Economic profit equal to total revenue minus implicit and explicit costs. Factors of production and equimarginal returns and substitution. We already discussed Production is the result of cooperation of four factors of production. Production is a process of using various material and immaterial inputs in order to make outputs for consumption. Yeah, material, you can see this material and immaterial inputs in order to make output for what? For consumption. In order to make output for consumption. Okay. Production is a process of using various materials and immaterial inputs in order to make output for consumption. Therefore, in this process, production creates economic well-being. The satisfaction of needs originates from the output. See, here the satisfaction is from output. See, for example, there is an output. This output is like laptop. Say, for example, think this as a laptop. So company called Dell used its entire production and created laptop or designed laptop. Yeah, here what I say is production process creates economic well-being. Somewhere Mr. Narendra wants to buy a laptop. Here is what I say, the satisfaction needs originates from the output. The need that I want to buy a new laptop will originate only when there is a laptop out in the market. So that is why it creates the economic well-being. The production is the result of cooperation of four types of production: land, labor, capital, and organization. Land, labor, and capital organization, altogether we call them as factors of production. In economics, production refers to creation or addition of value. It simply transforms the inputs into outputs. Production may be at varying levels. The scale of production influences the cost of production. Yeah, some company may produce 10 units, some company may produce 100 units, some company may produce massively thousands and thousands units. The scale of production, that is how much the company wants to produce, influences the cost of production. See, the lesser the production quantity, the higher will be the cost. The more the production quantity, the lesser will be the cost. All manufacturers were aware that when production of a commodity takes place on a larger scale, the average cost of its production is low. This is the reason why entrepreneurs are interested in enlarging their scale of production of their commodities. They stand to benefit from resulting economies of scale. Of course, see, the cost of producing the cost of, say for example, producing 10 laptops will have, say for example, each laptop costs you 1 lakh. Then for 10 laptops, the cost will be like 10 lakhs. Say for example, if the company is producing 1000 laptops, here the cost will be like reduced. It will be like, the cost will be like 1000 laptops. For here in this example, the cost for each laptop is 1 lakh. Now in this 10,000 laptops, if the production has been increased, this from 10 laptops to 1000 laptops, in this the cost of one laptop equal to 1 lakh will be reduced to one laptop is equal to 75,000. That is, it reduces 25,000 rupees because it has increased the scale of production from 10 laptops to 1000 laptops, and this will be beneficial and we call it as economies of scale. There is also possibility of making their products available in the market for at lower prices. Equimarginal returns and substitutions. Equimarginal returns and substitutions. What is this equimarginal? The producer secures the best combination by applying principles of equimarginal returns and substitution. Here you have equimarginal returns and substitution. According to the principle of equimarginal returns, any producer can have maximum production only when the marginal returns of all factors of production are equal to one another. Here, what is this equimanagerial return says? The cost of land equal to cost of labor equal to cost of capital equal to the cost of management or organization. That is, the producer, according to this principle, producer can have maximum production only when land, the cost of land equal to the cost of labor is equal to the cost of capital. For instance, when the marginal product of land is equal to that of labor, capital and organization, the production becomes maximum. Production is an activity diverted to satisfaction of other people's wants through exchange. What is production? Production is basically an activity of transformation which connects factor inputs and factor outputs. You have been observing factors of production and all. Factors of production, when I say, it is land, labor, capital and organization. So land in ordinary sense refers to the soil, but in here it refers to many things. That's the manufacturing land, plant installation and all these comes under land, labor, and then capital, the amount we incur into the business. Entrepreneur, that is entrepreneur, the functions of an organizer or entrepreneur comes into the picture in the factors of production. The basic concepts of production theory. Production function. Production function refers to the relationship among units of factors of production and the resultant of quantity of a good produced, that is output. Maximum amount of output that can be produced from any specified set of inputs given the existing technology. Here you can say maximum amount of output that can be produced from any specified set of inputs given existing technology. The technology with the existing infrastructure, with the existing technological infrastructure, how much the company can produce from the given set of land, labor, capital and the management or organization. So this is production function. You have technical efficiency and economic efficiency. What is technical efficiency? The technical efficiency in production will be achieved when maximum amount of output is produced with a given combination of inputs. This will be technical efficiency. And what is this economic efficiency? Economic efficiency is producing given output at the lowest possible cost. I'll say this in two examples. I'll say into this two example. You have technical efficiency and you have economic technical efficiency and economic efficiency. The first one is I say technical efficiency. Technical efficiency is achieved when the company produces maximum output with given set of inputs and technology. This is technical efficiency. Then what is this economic efficiency? Technical efficiency means producing the maximum output with a given amount of inputs and technology. Then what is this economic efficiency? Economic efficiency is also the same, like maximum output with less cost of production. If the company is able to produce maximum output with the lesser cost of production than the current cost, that will be known as economic efficiency. Inputs are considered variable or fixed depending on how readily their usage can be changed. You have variable input in the sense an input for which the level of usage may be changed quite readily. That means the quantity that we input, the quantity of raw materials or the quantity of inputs, land, the quantity of labor, the quantity of management, the quantity of capital will change accordingly, will change readily. That is variable input. Fixed input. What is this fixed input? On contrary to the variable input, fixed input is an input for which the level of usage cannot be readily changed. That is either land or labor or capital or the management or that is organizer must be fixed. An input for which the level of usage cannot be readily changed and which must be paid even if no output is produced. I say fixed input, like for example, you have taken a land on rent to conduct your business activities, and due to this COVID crisis you don't have any business, but still you have to pay the land, you have to pay the rent, though that is fixed input, that is your fixed cost. Quasi-fixed input, a lumpy or indivisible input for which a fixed amount must be used for any positive level of output. That is, none is purchased when output is 0. And now you have short run and long run. What is the short run and long run? Short run means in the 4 factors of production, one must be fixed. All changes in output achieved by changing usage of variable inputs, we call it as short run. In long run, all inputs are variable, that is, all inputs will change accordingly. Output is also changes by varying usage of all inputs. After knowing what is long run and what is short run, now let us discuss the production function. We already discussed that production begins with the analysis of demand. The term production function here refers to the relationship between production function refers the relationship between the relationship between inputs and outputs. The production function refers to the relationship between inputs and outputs produced by an entity or produced by an entity. An empirical production function is generally so complex. The term factors of production and resources are used interchangeably with the term inputs. The relationship is purely physical or technological character. Therefore, the price of inputs and outputs are ignored. See, the one thing that I have to explain you or one I have to let you know is that in the production function, prices of either inputs, that is raw material of land, labor, capital, production, or in an example the prices of the final output, say it is a good or say it is a service, the prices of products or services is not taken into consideration because the relationship in production function between the inputs and the output is purely physical or technological in character. I think you know this maximum. The study of production function is directed towards establishing the maximum output which can be achieved with a given set of resources or inputs and with a given state of technology. Production function, in simple words, is the relationship between quality of goods produced and the factors of production. Typical empirical function, these variables independent in these variables. Let us now look into this as a mathematical function. Production quantity, the quantity being the amount of land, the amount of labor invested in it, the amount of capital, the amount of materials, the amount of technology, and the amount of time invested in a production of a particular product. Most probably the common production function will be like, no, Q is equal to function of land, labor, capital, management, technology. Mostly you will see this formula, and now here in this time is also one such determinants of production function. This production function features include substitutability, complementary, and specificity. For sake of convenience, economists have reduced the number of variables used in a production function to only two, that is capital and labor. The input-output relations and the production function is expressed as Q equal to function of capital and labor. See, you can observe here, increasing production Q will require K and L. Whether the firm can increase both K and L or L will depend upon the time it takes into the account for increasing. Whether the firm is thinking in terms of short run or in terms of long run, the changes in land, labor, the changes in resources, it will depends upon the requirement of production. Economists believe that supply of capital is inelastic in short run and elastic in long run. We already discussed what is short run. Short run is where the variables are fixed, and long run is where the variables are changes. Thus, in short run, firms can increase production only by increasing labor, since the supply of capital is fixed. In the long run, firm can employ more of both capital and labor as the supply of capital becomes elastic over time. A long run decision is a decision in which firm can choose least expensive method of producing from among all possible production techniques. A short run is one which the firm is constrained by past choices in regard to what production decision it can make. In the long run, all inputs are variable. In the short run, flexibility is limited. Some factors of production cannot be changed. Generally, like the production facility, etc., are fixed. Thank you.